my reason for being here is because I love Roots Music Project and what they do. And I'm kind of going through all of this, just kind of thinking about what it is that that Roots does. But we want to start at the very beginning. And what inspired you to start it?
First of all, thank you, Helen. Thanks so much for being here. If anybody's watching the live stream, which we have a pretty good audience out there, and so thank you for being out there. We're doing a sound check behind us, so hopefully you can still hear me. But let me explain a little bit of the origin story of Roots. I'm a musician, and before I did this full time, I was really frustrated that my life didn't have enough music in it. And I had my guitar stashed under my bed. And yeah, oh no is right. And it was there for like 2 decades. And my kids, though, started to play guitar. And they went to Doghouse Music and started a band camp there. And I was like, I need to do that. So this is like 15 years ago. Fast forward, started a band through Doghouse, but we couldn't find any place to play music. Have you ever had that problem? Tell me a little bit about your frustration with that.
I remember. I lived in Colorado, 2008 to 2010, and I always talk about this because it felt like then there was so many music places, and I was coming in from Texas, and so I'm coming in from nothing. No way. And so I come over here and I got fed, and it was all these places I could go listen to music and also play music. And then we moved away, and then we came back in 2018, and it was like nothing land. And I just couldn't understand. I'm like, this place fed me. Where are all these places? And so, kind of looking for a few places, and there's a lot of competition for it. It was so frustrating because you don't get in. And then I stumbled upon Roots. And I feel like I just never kind of left. I felt like every single time that I could come here, it was great. And the atmosphere, too. And so this is like a little bit of a reservoir. It's a little bit of a reservoir for me because it went from a place that Colorado had places, especially Boulder had places to come play music. And then it all just went away. And I don't really know why.
I'll give you a little background on that. I started to do research, why was it so difficult for bands to find places to play? I mean, we have Red Rocks, Mission Ballroom, the Fox, Boulder Theater, but it felt like all of the clubs were disappearing. And so that was a real motivation to start Roots Music Project. It's like, okay, let's rent the warehouse and let's start to do shows. And COVID hit, which was very devastating, especially to musicians and to us. But we managed to hold on, and now we are doing 250 shows a year right here in the warehouse space. And we're also throwing a festival this year, which we'll tell you more about later. But really the idea is just to give musicians a chance, whether you're a pro or you're just getting started. And it's one of the phrases we love is from Roots to Red Rocks.
Yes. And it's funny you mention places like Red Rocks because as fantastic a venue as that is, playing over there is not necessarily easy. You're not just a regular band and you're going to go play at Roots. And so, at Red Rocks. And so to find a venue like this that's not quite a club, but is a music venue that can hold a substantial amount of people and provide the atmosphere, the lights, the sound that really kind of gives back to the music is what's really kind of special about Roots Music Project, I feel like. Because otherwise, you could go to a restaurant and play some music, like background music, but not a venue, an actual music venue that doesn't require you to be the size of what Red Rocks is. And that is what's really, really cool about this place. And also, I wish I could take you on a tour, but there's 2 spaces. Yeah, it would be fantastic to be able to just give this the sense of the ambience here. This is like the east side, but there's the main stage, and at that main stage, you get the full size sound and feel in a venue that is maybe considered mid-size, right?
Right. And that is part of the mission here too, is that if we're going to have a music scene that brings people from playing in grade school or a high school band, it's like, okay, where do they go next? And imagine if it was baseball and there was no minor league, that you just had to go from playing in a high school to the major leagues. That's kind of what Boulder area was like before, but Roots is filling that gap. And unfortunately, or fortunately, it has to be a nonprofit because the for-profit system won't work for a venue our size with high real estate prices, and restaurants are struggling. They're taking out their stages and they're replacing them with football games or sports. Nothing against that, but we're hoping that we can inspire people to put more stages back to give people a place to learn, frankly.
I always kind of think about the things that unite people across culture, across any border. Food, music. Because before we even can start to speak the same language, if we play music, that often kind of brings people together. It is. And so the fact that we're taking out places for music and adding television, which is great, but there's nothing like saying, hey, eat your food and not have a conversation. There's something about being able to eat and listen and move maybe and be inspired to go, you know what, I used to play the blah, 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 and you break that open.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been here 20 years, and I've seen so many great clubs come and go. In Boulder, there used to be a jazz club downtown, the Blue Note. I think it was called the Blue Note. Maybe somebody out there knows what the name of the jazz club was, but it was on Pearl, and it was there, I think, from the 70s. And, I mean, they had some big acts there. But then, real estate prices go up, out go the clubs, and out go the musicians.